at the same time.
Block. Number 46, number 47. First down.
Jerry Holmes of the Jets called for the illegal block. So the Jets start out from their 6-yard line. The lights are on here at Candlestick. It did rain earlier. The rain has stopped. And Crutchfield able to pick his way. Wayne Crutchfield refusing to go down. Keena Turner, the outside linebacker, on the stop and some thievery, but they say, come on back.
Well, Ronnie Lott's an opportunist. He thought maybe, you know, Dwayne Board got one of those in the end zone last week. Keep playing until they make you stop. I'll tell you who started playing right in the middle of the line. Joe Fields and Pete Kugler. We talked about Pete at the outset of the ball game. It should be a very interesting matchup. If Joe Fields, who's an outstanding center, can do a good job on Pete, it's going to make things a lot easier for him.
Crutchfield picking up 11 yards on the play. It's a first down at the 17. The Jets have been very slow starters, have not fared well in the first quarter, one of their many problems this season. Good tackle by Dwayne Board, tripping up Wayne Crutchfield. As we take a look at that 49er defensive unit, up front, the one-time Jet Lawrence Pillars, Pete Kugler, and Dwayne Board, those are the starters.
But they interchange so often. Marv, when we've been doing this in the past few weeks, just showing almost all the down linemen because they all form such an integral part. We take a look at a rookie with Jack Reynolds playing inside linebacker. Ricky Ellison, a fella from USC, has picked up, played very well.
And White Hicks is back, sat it out last week, wanted his contract renegotiated. 49ers said no go, but he's back, 2nd and 11. And again, this time the combination of Turner and Dean.
And there are going to be a lot of people making tackles today, but the reason they're going to make them is because number 67 is going to hold his own against number 65. Joe Fields, an outstanding center. Pete Kugler, a Penn State grad, came out here as just a medium round draft choice. They put a lot of people in his position trying to take it, and it kind of had an effect on him. He left camp early. He came back. Since that time, defensive line coach McPherson says he's been playing the best ball of anybody, and they got a lot of good defensive linemen.
3rd and 5. Bruce Hopper, but short of the first down. Carlton Williamson, the strong safety who made his return last week after sitting out with a broken leg on the stop of Hopper.
All right. Good pass blocking. Sometimes you don't get good pass blocking when they're in a blitz, and that's what the 49ers were in. Pretty well picked up by Carlton Williamson, but somebody should have been open down the field.
All right, the Jets had all kinds of difficulties covering punts last week against the Atlanta Falcons, and right now they'll try to cover Dana McLemore, who is back at his 33. The punt by Ramsey, and a good one. McLemore to the 35, and no more. Short of the 35, an excellent coverage by the Jets, who certainly have seen enough of the highlight films of Billy White Shoes Johnson from a week ago. 48-yard punt and a 4-yard return. Rusty Gilbo leading the charge downfield. So the San Francisco 49ers will start out just inside the 35. Joe Montana coming off the 25 for 39, 358 yards against the Rams.
Just another day at the plant for him, though. He has a lot of those days.
And excellent receivers. Nehemiah getting the start today. Freddie Solomon is banged up. And this is Wendell Tyler, stopped by Joe Klecko. So Tyler coming off a disappointing day against his former club, the Rams, is stopped on the first down play. The Jets, one of the few remaining teams in the 4-3 with Gastineau, Klecko, Lyons, and Neal. We'll see much of Ben Rudolph during the course of the day as a designated pass rusher. Bob Crable, the man in the middle, and Jackson Holmes, Schroy, and Ray in the secondary. Loss of 2. It's a 2nd down and 12. And Montana looking to throw. He has Craig, Roger Craig, for the first down. Rick Buttle on on the stop, but Craig, the rookie from Nebraska, picking it up off the swing.
All right, that's a play made by quarterback and the receiver. You take Gastineau trying to get in on Keith Fonhorst. Fonhorst said all week long, man, I'm ready for the game. I know that if I can handle number 99 one-on-one without a lot of help, they'll consider me for the Pro Bowl and All-Star honors, and who wouldn't, all right, because Gastineau has not been handled one-on-one. Fonhorst did a fine job there, but Roger Craig did a better one.
15 yards for Craig, first down at the 48-yard line. And it's Tyler, he slipped. Got back to the line, Mark Gastineau.
Marv, I want to show you, you sit there and you get involved with somebody, and now this man has his own style, but take a look how hard it is to handle a man with that strength one-on-one. He takes Fonhorst, who's 275, he gets rid of him, he gets into the point of attack. That's how tough it is to handle him one-on-one.
And some friendly Mark Gastineau fans.
If some offensive lineman hung that up.
Well, Keith Fonhorst was asked how he would react should Gastineau come up with a sack and go through his theatrics. And Fonhorst said, let's see if he can come up with the sack. Montana able to complete. Roger Craig short of the first down inside the 45. The right cornerback Jerry Holmes making the tackle.
I want to show you just exactly what kind of covers the Jets really are. We give you a wide secondary so we can show you. This is what you call a roll zone to the strong side. Two man over on that side, one man one-on-one. You don't see anybody open. Montana has to come off to Craig, who makes a fine run after he gets the ball, gets it to 3rd and 2. This is the way they've been getting beat. They've got great people. They play very basically, and sometimes they blitz with their free safety. When he's gone, there's nobody in the middle, and they've been beaten by the big play. But they have excellent people.
And it's a 3rd down and 2 at the 44 in Jet territory. Off the play action, Montana is going deep but overthrows Dwight Clark, who drew double coverage. Darrell Ray and Jerry Holmes covering Clark.
What they expected was they expected Darrell Ray not to be in the hole. They expected him to have to come out and cover one of their backs. He's their free safety. He fooled them. They did a little blitz, but they left him free. When they did so, that play was in trouble from the start.
And the former Miami Dolphin, as you look at the tail end of the double coverage on Dwight Clark, Tom Oro's back at his 42-yard line. There he is. He's had a decent year. He's done well in terms of putting that ball inside the 20. And Springs is back. McLemore getting downfield in a hurry and then ridden off the play. This is Springs out to the 20-yard line. And the Jets will take over right there. Eason Ramson, the backup tight end, on the tackle of Springs. 6 minutes gone by. 34-yard punt, 11-yard return. We're early first quarter, no score against Joe Namath, and it was Brodie leading the 49ers to a 24-21 victory over the Jets. We'll get back to that in a moment as Todd throws on first down. So Richard Todd and Wesley Walker hooking up. Keena Turner making the stop. Weren't you taken out of that ball game? Someone mentioned something about disciplinary reasons back in '71. Is that true? Not you, John.
Well, I wouldn't say that I was one of the more... I guess I wasn't the quarterback that coaches fell in love with immediately. And,
You're kidding.
Yeah, we were ahead 22-0, and that was when Joe Namath came back from a long-time injury, and they almost beat us. And it was quite active back there in Shea Stadium. And this is only the 3rd time these two groups have been together since.
2nd and 1, and Jets pick it up. Mike Augustiniak picking up the short yardage. Keena Turner on the you're such a lovable guy. I can't understand why anybody be mad at you, John.
I'm lovable, but I'll tell you, we have a fella that was in that last play that's not too lovable. He eats, breathes, and does everything else with football. And if the Jets try to run in his area, it's going to be a long afternoon for him, because this man is the strongest 225-pound linebacker that's ever played this game. Hacksaw Reynolds. And he's playing pretty well this year.
And it's a first down for Tom. Throwing the bullet. And completing for another first down. Mickey Schuler, the tight end, making his first start of the season, picking up 11 on the play. Eric Wright, Willie Hopper on the stop. So the first down is picked up, and Richard Todd, according to Joe Walton, is still fighting his way out of a slump. Has not recaptured his rhythm. Had a good first half last week against Atlanta, but in the fourth quarter, 3 for 14 and went 0 for his last 7.
We'll discuss that after this play. I think Richard Todd looks very sharp right now.
All right, first down at the 43-yard line, and Todd to throw again, looking long, and now throwing medium range, but again able to complete, but this time short of the first down. Again the tight end, Mickey Schuler the target, and Ronnie Lott, the left cornerback, on the stop.
Well, his offensive line's doing a fine job, and we mentioned that Kugler is a big part of the defensive line play for the 49ers. He's been able to make a lot of motion, get a lot of people in a problem. Well, you can see that Joe Fields has knocked him out of the play. He's trying to get his hand in the throwing lane, but that offensive line is giving Richard Todd some time to throw. And I happen to think that when a team loses a 21-point lead, it's not usually the quarterback that lost it for him. And that's an easy place to lay it, but it's not always the accurate one.
All right, here's Todd looking Walker. Couldn't find him left side and batted down. 65, the one-time Jet. Lawrence Pillar right there to get a piece of it.
Now that's the ironic thing that people have discussed so much, is Richard Todd can throw 3 beautiful looking passes in a row, as he has in this drive. Then he comes up and almost hits Lawrence Pillars right in the stomach with the ball, and creating a turnover. If Lawrence had been 2 steps farther away, he'd have had a very easy interception. That was a poorly thrown ball to a man who was wide open. I don't understand that one.
All right, Todd is 4 for 5, 29 yards, has a 3rd down and 1. Midfield. Off the play action. And that is close to the first down. Augustiniak stopped by Ellison. And let's see where they spot it.
That one's close, but no cigar.
Now they're calling for the yardsticks. You never know.
They do spot him in some strange ways. But I don't think that one got quite far enough.
Ricky Ellison, a native of New Zealand, and they say in the Jack Reynolds mold.
He is. As a matter of fact, when they played the Rams last week, he started to the stadium early, barely got there in time for the game. The cab ran out of gas, and he was in the middle of the freeway about 40 minutes before game time with a couple of teammates trying to get into the ballpark.
And it is short of the first down, so the punting unit will come on.
Take a look at, here's Augustiniak, number 35, faking a little draw play, and then he's the outlet man. He's the man they throw to if the defense has already smelled the play out. Because he was an outlet man, Carlton Williamson was going to let him get to the line of scrimmage. Not at all. They're in a punting situation.
And Chuck Ramsey back at his 38-yard line. Dana McLemore awaiting the punt. One of the problems the Jets special teams had last week, according to their coach Larry Pasquale, is that for some reason in covering Billy White Shoes Johnson, the Jets ended up in single file, and
he's done that to a lot of teams.
Was able to pick his way on 2 occasions. Ramsey trying to angle it, and this is McLemore. And again, good coverage for the second consecutive time.
They haven't been in single file this afternoon. They know that their backs are up against the wall, Marv, and they're ready to play football. You can tell by the way the special teams play with the intensity they have today. They're here for the whole 60 minutes.
A headset and has the baseball hat on in the right mouth. What's going on?
We'll discuss it.
First down for the 49ers at the 14-yard line. Short setup, and out of the hands of Wendell Tyler. Timing looked to be off. Jerry Holmes covering on the play.
Well, they did, because they beat Montana's defensively. He did not expect Holmes to be in a revolve zone and threw the ball quickly to keep from having it intercepted. As we look at the scores, Atlanta bouncing back after that great win last week.
Dallas Cowboys leading the Giants, and Baltimore squeaking by Philadelphia, coming from behind. Buffalo over New Orleans 27-21. So a good day for the AFC East to this point. Detroit, final score over Chicago, 38-17. Joe Montana, 2nd and 10 at the 14. 5.5 left, scoreless first quarter. And Montana scrambling out to the 15. Montana could not find anyone open. Greg Buttle bumping about.
If he'd have stuck around just a little bit longer, he'd have found somebody that was an old teammate that was ready to meet him very squarely. As good as Joe Montana's playing, Bob Crable, a #1 draft choice, number 50 for the Jets, is in the middle. And the way they play defense with 4 down linemen, the middle linebacker is their key guy. And just about the time Joe, I don't understand this, Joe was putting his head down. He knew he was somewhere around the first down line, but I think Crable will influence him not to do so in the future.
Bob Crable, like Joe Montana out of Notre Dame, he took over as a starter in the middle 2 weeks ago. It's a 3rd down and 4 at the 20. And Montana throwing on the run. Russ Francis picking up the first down. Greg Buttle covering on the play. So the 49ers have a first down at the 32.
Really a good play by Russ, and it's a big catch for him. Even though he has only received 13 balls coming into today's game, it hasn't been a big year for Russ, and everybody expects so much. Let's take a look at the secondary and the way when this play was handled. All right, now Francis sees Joe Montana's in trouble. You see he spins off Buttle, comes out, and gives Joe a chance to make a completion out of a bad play. That's what knowledge and understanding of what the game's about will do for him.
And it's a 13-yard advance. First down for the 49ers. Here's Tyler following Ayers. Could not make the turn. So Wendell Tyler, who last week carried 7 times for 31 yards and had a rough one, having a tough time getting off here in the early going. Lance Mell able to follow him from left to right. It'll be a 2nd down and 8. A pickup of 2. San Francisco with victories over Minnesota, St. Louis, Atlanta, New England, New Orleans, and the LA Rams beaten by the Rams, and the Eagles lost their opening game at home to Philly. And people here were saying, hey, another 4th season coming up. What's going on? But this club has turned it. They've won 6 of their last 7.
They know they haven't played that well at home. And Kenny Neal's got a little edge on this play. Started about 2 counts early, but I tell you what, Mr. Francis made another great catch.
Joe Klecko in pursuit, and penalty markers all over as there was early movement from the Jets.
Just can't tell whether it was caused movement or...
All right, the referee, Bob Frederick.
False start on the offense.
So it was Montana setting them off as we look at the officials. Crew headed up by Bob Frederick, John Keck, the umpire, Jerry Bergman, head linesman, along with Dan Wilford, Bill Swanson, Gary Lane, Don Hakes. 3 minutes, 55 seconds left in this first quarter, and we have no score. And they're setting it back to a 2nd down and 13 at the 30.
I think early.
The quarterback and number 33 on the offense. 2nd down.
Okay, that was Roger Craig who was called on, but I think the Jets have fooled the 49ers defensively so far in the ball game, and they have not done a lot of the things that they had done in prior ball games.
2nd and 13. That's Francis in motion, and again penalty flag. And some words between Gastineau and Montana.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joe is not the sort of fellow, he's not your typically passive quarterback, okay? And there's no need to put your hands on somebody and run them around like they're a rag doll.
False start on the offense, 71 and 77.
And people can say, hey, it's okay to jump around, and it's just like a defensive back when he intercepts a ball, or an offensive receiver scoring a touchdown. But people just don't like other people to get their hands on them when there's no reason for it. You can take a look. This play's dead a long time ago. Now watch. Gastineau grabs him, just kind of shakes him around, lets him know. That's not necessary.
That began with Kenny Neal. Little shove from Neal and Gastineau. All right, the tackles were called on the penalty. Bubba Paris and Keith Fonhorst. So here's a 2nd and 18 back at the 25-yard line. Again, Francis peeling off. And the short foot open. Wendell Tyler. Nice move across the 45-yard line.
Let me show you how it happens. We have Clark. Dwight Clark is in a wide position, okay? He's got a safety man. It's in a blitz situation. He's got the safety man, man-to-man, all the way. Take a look. Bobby Jackson on Dwight Clark. He's got his back turned to the play, and it's in a blitz situation. Now he turns back and says, oh, my God, nobody's there. Well, when you do that, that's one of the things you give up. Joe takes advantage of it. Wendell Tyler is all alone when he gets the ball and picks up a first down.
23 yards in the process for Tyler. Montana now 4 for 6, 57 yards, first down at the 49er 47-yard line. Francis coming across, and here's Craig, led by Ring, trying to cut back, could not. Picked up short yardage. Mark Gastineau on the tackle. Roger Craig, who last week against the Rams led the 49ers in rushing, 11 carries, 55 yards. And a touchdown, a second-round selection. San Francisco's top draft pick. They did not have a first-round pick.
Well, Walsh made a statement that was it was rather large for any rookie, and he said he reminds him of Franco Harris. Well, I'm going to keep my comments a little reserved, but I do tell you that Roger Craig has played very well. When you start putting him up there with Franco Harris, it's a little premature.
2nd and 8. And the tight end, Eason Ramson, out at the 47, wrestled down by Bobby Jackson. For an update now, let's go to our studios at NFL 83. And not able to pull it through. Right here, a minute and 45 remaining in a quick-moving first quarter. Jets and the 49ers are scoreless. 3rd down and 4 for San Francisco at the Jet 46. Jeff Moore out of the backfield for the first down. He was able to stretch out. Bobby Jackson thought he had him, but Moore with a good move.
Let me tell you what Bobby Jackson was concerned about. He was saying, hey, where are you linebackers? We got a hold of him. You fellas are supposed to polish him off. Well, what happened is Buttle ran by him. He was trying to polish him off and missed. Take a look. Knowing where your first down is very important. Montana's a little layoff to Jeff Moore. Jackson gets him. Now watch, Buttle's trying. He falls down in the attempt. That's what Jackson's hot about.
Jeff Moore in his 4th season out of Jackson State. He is playing with a broken rib injury, but hanging in. He picked up the first down at the Jet 42. Good play action in Montana, throwing the bomb. And Ronaldo Nehemiah made a delay move and almost came up with it.
He made a good play to keep it from being intercepted. But when you can throw a ball like that, Joe didn't get any rush at all that time. You have to credit your offensive line. And we mentioned Bubba Paris was having a pretty good year. He again just got down on the line of scrimmage, gave Joe a lot of protection from his offside. If he continues to do that, it'll be nice for old Joe.
Ronaldo had his best day in the NFL last week. 5 passes, 65 yards, 1 touchdown. The world record-holding hurdler is finally being accepted as a football player amongst his teammates. 2nd and 10. Montana with time. Wendell Tyler, first down, inside the 30. So Tyler effective coming out of the backfield. Darrell Ray on the stop.
Tell you what, you talk about him giving you 1,000 yards rushing. If we get a chance, and we may get to see it here, Joe Montana loves to throw to number 26 because he's so good coming out of the backfield. Those strong and free safeties have no bargain trying to hit a man 210 pounds at 6 foot and coordinated like he is.
15-yard pickup, time running down, seconds remaining in this first quarter, and that will do it. After 1 here at Candlestick in San Francisco on an overcast day, although the rain crowd. And this is the 13th year at Candlestick Park in San Francisco as we check out the first quarter statistics.
Played pretty evenly, really. The 49ers have had the ball a little bit longer, but the Jets have stopped themselves in real close situations.
And the 49ers first down at the Jet 27. And this is Tyler picking his way to the 25. It'll be a 2nd down and 8. John Ayers, the left guard, leading Tyler. Crable and Mel, linebackers, combining to make the stop.
And the pickings are pretty slim. There aren't a lot of holes. He's an I back, and when he is in the I formation, which they would like to use today, I'm sure, because with the real good pass rush of the Jets, it leaves a few holes that are created, and an I back runs by the reaction of the defensive line. Well, he hadn't found any holes so far today.
2nd down and 8. Nehemiah is to the left, and Clark out now, splitting to the right. Montana with time. So Montana completing to Clark inside the 20. Again, the middle linebacker, Bob Crable, on the stop.
You know, Marv, people talk about how does he get open all the time. All you have to, if you know it, you can easily cover him. Well, here he is. He's playing in the slot back. He goes in motion. Now they've put it in a situation where nobody can guard him one-on-one up close. Now watch this. Starts to go to the outside, gets underneath the Buttle. Now he's in between Crable and Buttle. Joe knows he's going to him the whole way. Depends on him to make a move to get open, and he does 98% of the time, so it's a pretty good combo.
Has what you call sneaky speed and sets up a 3rd down and 1. Now Montana on the run. Is Gastineau after him? Montana picking up the 1st down.
I see a flag thrown. I'm curious to know on who. I don't think they're going to get credit for that one.
It is against San Francisco. Look to be Wendell Tyler.
Well, you can generally tell by the dejection going back to the huddle, and Wendell certainly looks dejected.
So the 1st down run by Montana negated. And we await the call from Bob Frederick. Apparently they marked off too much distance.
Could have been one of those little tripping jobs.
Illegal block by the offense above the waist. 10-yard penalty. Number 26.
It is Tyler.
Will be 3rd down.
And it's a 3rd down back at the 27-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and 10. Mike Wilson now out to the right, 3-year man from Washington State. Nehemiah left. And Montana looking right. Has Clark, but it's broken up. One-hand attempt by Dwight Clark. And the Jets very pleased to break it up. Johnny Lynn in his 4th season out of UCLA.
You know, he'd have had the ball, but he jumped too early. You can see he's coming down when the ball's at its highest peak. And these two work together, but no matter how often you work together, to make those kind of circus catches is pretty tough order.
And a field goal attempt upcoming by a man who has had a sensational year, Ray Wersching. 15 for 16. His only miss was a 51-yarder some 3 weeks ago. This from 45 yards away.
And it was blocked.
And a line drive right through. Oh, he drills it. Ray Wersching, 45-yard field goal. With a minute 45 gone by, 2nd quarter. San Francisco, 45-yard field goal by this man. 11-year pro out of the University of California, Ray Wersching, taking a 3-0 lead.
Marv, you talk about all these kickers and their personalities and the way they are. He has to be the most down-home, easy to get along with, even-tempered guy I've ever met. Now, that's supposed to be against the grain for kickers, but his stability is something to behold. And when everybody else seems to be getting nervous and rattled, he just keeps rolling up.
You mean a kicker who was not a flake? Low kick, though. This is Preston Brown, who leads the league in kickoff return. Out across the 25-yard line, Preston Brown, 3-year man out of Vanderbilt, stopped by Bill Ring. So the Jets will take over right there. A timeout has been called. We'll be right back. Call. Checking it out upstairs.
He's talking to Paul Hackett, the offensive quarterback coach upstairs. And even though Bill Walsh does call the signals, there's a lot of understanding that can be communicated from up in these boxes.
All right, Dwayne Crutchfield on the carry as we check out the scoreboard. Atlanta over New England. That's a final 24-13. Dallas knocking off the Giants 31-20. Baltimore defeating the Philadelphia Eagles 22-21. Buffalo over New Orleans. Detroit.
Dan Bunce has replaced Hacksaw. He's usually coming when he's in the ballgame.
Look at Houston. They also blew it. So Houston and Tampa Bay are not able to pick up their first victories. Mickey Schuler on the reception to pick up the 1st down. And St. Louis rebounding from that dreadful game against the Giants on Monday night in an upset.
If they'll take this one. I got to think they won't. They picked up 2 yards, but I don't know. I think they better move it back 5. We'll see.
Yes, they are accepting.
Remember you asked, you said, here's Joe Walton without his headset on.
Offensive right guard was offside. It will be first down.
Our right guard
The
is
number of the offensive man was 60.
Dan Alexander called on the penalty.
We don't need to tell anybody that, do we? Anyway, we'll talk about it later.
All right, first down and 15, back at the 27. Todd drilling it up the middle, down to the 10-yard line. Is the tight end, Mickey Schuler. A 17-yard pickup. Hicks and Hopper combined on the stop, and Todd and Schuler have hooked up consistently here in the first half.
But he is the healthy tight end that they have. McCombs and Jerome Barkham are both suffering. They're out for the ball game, and that kind of hitting will take its toll. Mickey Schuler's had come up with several fine receptions, and what Todd's getting is excellent pass protection. Marvin Powell handling Dean one-on-one allows Richard Todd to pick and choose.
And this is Crutchfield inside the 10 and a flag throw. Pete Kugler, the nose tackle, making the stop, and it's against the Jets.
And it's holding. Those are never fun if you're offensive-minded.
And it has not been fun for the Jets in that department. They have been hit with a host of holding calls.
Joe Walton again. He doesn't have a headset on.
Offensive holding, number 79.
Because he doesn't want a lot of information that can get him off track. A lot of second guessing goes on. He knows a lot of people have ideas. Their offense hasn't worked as effectively as he'd like. I'm sure he spent an awful lot of time all week long figuring out situations and tendencies. He doesn't need any distractions, and I kind of agree with him.
Changing his style, that had not been his philosophy in the past. Marvin Powell, who has really had a problem in the holding department, was called for that hold. First and 20 now. And this is Hopper, and again a flag down. Hopper inside the 15-yard line. Lawrence Pillars on the stop. And it has been a busy second quarter for the officials, again against the Jets.
Well, now they're in danger of running themselves out of field goal range. They're going to be back on the 30-yard line. A 47-yarder is a long way to go, but it will be first down.
The Jets have lost 3 in a row. They come at a 3 up, 5 down.
Personal foul for clipping on the offense, number 60. Still is first
and again,
down.
it's the right guard, Dan Alexander. He was called for the offside a moment ago on this series, and now a personal foul. It is a first down, first and 30. Back at the 31. Lamb Jones to the left. Wesley Walker right.
Watch those defensive linemen getting their sprinter stance.
Walker in motion. And Todd looking, Walker wide open. Wesley Walker inside the 5-yard line. Eric Wright trying to pick him up.
Well, that was an excellent play by Richard Todd. There is nobody ever on Walker, but take a look at the offensive blocking again. When he needs a little help and he gets a little help from the uncovered guard, Brett Dean is not a factor. When you can keep him out of the quarterback's face, it gives your wide receivers a chance to get down the field and be open as he was on this occasion.
27-yard pass play. It's a second down and 3 at the 4.
Richard Todd never looked over there until he delivered the ball.
Right, first he looked Gaffney off. Scott Durking. Short pickup. Todd is now 10 for 11, 103 yards, and looks to have the timing back.
Well, Scott Durking is a fine man to have because of this situation. You get down near the goal line, he'll find a little crack for you. He's scored as many touchdowns over his career as any of those backs, and they love to play him in that time. It didn't look like there's any room at all there to me. He found some.
And it's third down inches. Jets to the line, led by center Joe Fields. Harry and Bobber out on the wing because they don't have the second tight end. And Crutchfield, let's see, did not make it.
But he might have picked up a first down.
Tina Turner able to snack him up, but the critical point is, did he pick up the first down?
Well, make your own judgment. You can see right down the line, it looks like there's no movement at the line of scrimmage. He goes up, he He's met. And it just looks like they have to start it again. But sometimes that back can just kind of get a little bit of forward momentum. In this case, I'm sure it's a first down. He's within 4 or 5 inches of the goal line.
So it is a 1st and goal for the Jets. 9 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 3-0 San Francisco on a 45-yard field goal by Ray Wershing.
Well, Joe is sitting there saying, okay, now we've done about all we can do. Now it's just a matter of our offensive line, which is recognized as one of the strongest in the game, picking up 7 or 8 inches.
Durking and Augustiniak in the backfield. That's Augustiniak in motion. And this is Durking. He's got it. He went over for the score.
That's what Scott Durking can do. He can be hit at the line of attack, squirrel off, find a hole, pick up 6 points when some people wouldn't have done so.
And despite all the penalties, a very impressive drive by the Jets.
Very impressive. And Richard Todd was the key factor. He picked out the important receiver when he had to. He has been right on the money on every pass but 2 that I've seen throughout this first half of play. And I think he was the reason they scored.
All right, here's Pat Leahy. And Leahy puts it through. So the Jets have taken a 7-3 lead on the San Francisco 49ers with 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Second quarter. 73 yards, capped off by Scott Durking taking it over for his 3rd touchdown of the season. And Pat Leahy getting set to kick off to the combination of McLemore and Ring. Marv Albert, John Brodie, Candlestick Park in San Francisco. This is Ring. And undecided then made his decision. And they'll bring it out. Bring it out to the 20-yard line, and a wise decision by Bill Ring, the backup running back, valuable guy in his 3rd season out of Brigham Young. First made the 49ers by virtue of his special teams play, but he's filled in very capably.
That's right, and he resides around South San Francisco, has always been a local boy, but he's a real story of a local boy makes good.
At center, replacing the injured Brett Quillen, who had started 75 straight games. And Montana moving to his left. That time he was bothered by the pass rush. He heard the footsteps. Mark Gastineau staking up behind him.
You know what happened? He was not going to Russ Francis. He was going to Dwight Clark, and if Dwight hadn't slipped down, he'd have caught the ball easily. It's been that sort of a hit and miss situation for the 49ers. But take a look. There's Mark. There's Dwight on his fanny, and he knows if he kept his feet, he'd been right where the ball was.
2nd down and 10. San Francisco operating from its 20-yard line. Craig and Tyler are the running backs. And Montana off the setup for Nehemiah. Let's see, did he catch it? No. Nice try. Ronaldo Nehemiah with the diving attempt, covered by Ken Schroy.
And Joe and Nehemiah are getting a lot better timing right now. You take a look at Nehemiah coming out of his break. He came out and didn't get out of there with a lot of acceleration, but Joe threw the ball just a little bit beyond his tips. He's making efforts for balls like that he really never had control of his body to make 5 or 6 games ago, and he's become a receiver, and I think he's enjoying the game too.
Now Mike Wilson and Dwight Clark in the lineup. Wilson split to the right, Clark left. And Russ Francis, the tight end. 3rd down, 10. Montana for Nehemiah, but not able to hold on. Covered by Schroy, and Nehemiah shaken up.
Well, he got a pretty good hit when you go in there across the middle, and he has been going in there quite a bit in the last 2 or 3 ball games. This is a double zone. 2 players deep, 2 players, the cornerbacks up on the wide receiver. Montana gets enough time. Ronaldo gets in there, finds the hole, doesn't hold onto the ball. It's tough in there, but the real good wide receivers take those for first downs. Get to Ronaldo. Now, this is a pretty good sign of the improvement of a wide receiver. When you're going to a wide receiver on 3rd down, you're putting a lot of dependability on him. He didn't come down with this one, but he's been coming down with him.
And on 4th down, Tom Oro's back at a 6-yard line, getting set to punt to Kirk Springs, 3-year man from Miami of Ohio, and a short punt. Springs, midfield. Springs fumbles and recovered by Marion Barber of the Jets. So a forward fumble, but not what Springs had in mind. Bill Ring on the tackle, a 35-yard punt and a 9-yard return and all.
Richard Blackmore, a new fella, just picked up last week, made the tackle, created the fumble, but that's the way they haven't been going for the Jets in past weeks.
Silver and black attack battle the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Miami Dolphins take on the tough San Francisco 49ers, plus other regional action only on NBC.
There's 21, Kirk Springs, who took that hard hit on the punt return. He is all right. Combination of Blackmore and Ring jarring it loose, and it was covered up by Marion Barber.
All right, I'm sure their special teams have been getting about all the heat they can stand, and that was a very alert play by a special teams man to pick up the fumble. Was that Buttle or Cravey?
First down at the 43-yard line. And here's Richard Todd. One-handed attempt by Schuler. Tina Turner covering on the play. Today's game is being brought to you by Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. By Visa cards and traveler's checks. You can do it. We'd like to help. And by United Airlines. People who fly for a living fly United's friendly skies. Jets now 2nd down 10. At the San Francisco 43-yard line. Marv Albert, John Brodie, Candlestick Park, San Francisco. Richard Todd having a splendid first half, and the Jets lead at 7-3. Off the delay, Crutchfield able to break the tackle. Penalty marker down. Keena Turner was stiff-armed off the play by Dwayne Crutchfield. Flags are down. We'll get back to the call in a moment. First, let's get back to New York. The first of the two meetings between those two clubs several weeks ago.
Face mask, number 58 on the defense, and it is still 2nd down.
Well, Keena Turner called for what is labeled an incidental face mask.
What happens, once he realized he had him, he let it go. You had seen some where they didn't let it go, and that's not incidental.
2nd and 1. The Jets at the San Francisco 34. That's Walker in motion. Play action. Here's Hopper on the swing. Hopper broke a tackle. Ronnie Lott worked him out of bounds. So Bruce Hopper able to pick up the first down and some more.
You notice Joe Walton is ready. When the play's over, he finds a situation, the yard line, he's got things coming in. He's on top of what's going on. And I think that's why he's shed that headset. And I just think you can sit back, you can make a preparation for games like that, and you don't get in trouble doing so. Very few situations do you need.
First down at the 28-yard line. Just under 8 minutes remaining in this first half. Lamb Jones to the left and Wesley Walker right. Gaffney in the slot, and Todd laying it deep for Jones. Touchdown! Johnny Lamb Jones giving the Jets a 13-3 lead.
I know that if they get Johnny Lamb Jones back in the act, there's no telling what the Jets might be able to do. That's 2 big receptions for him today. And that one was no easy catch. It was perfectly thrown, but it's very difficult to catch the ball over your head in the end zone, keeping both feet in bounds. Perfectly thrown, but he played the defender just right. Watch this. He's got Eric Wright in a position where Eric thinks he's got some play on the play, but he has none. He's got his arm over the top of Eric's, pulls it in easily. 6 points, Jets.
28-yard touchdown pass play. And now Pat Leahy looking for the extra point. The Jets moving in front of the 49ers by the score of 14-3 with 7:47 remaining in this first half. 15-3 lead, but as skeptical Jet fans will tell you back in New York, last week they led Atlanta 21-0.
Yeah, but last week is last week, and I think what you've learned from a past failure, it does have some effect. I do think these fellas know that they're out here scrambling today to get back in the race, and I think the indicative thing is these are a group of athletes that know it's not over. They can read anything they want in the newspaper. They know the kind of quality they have as a football team, and right now they're playing that way.
Kickoff by Leahy. This is McLemore. Another excellent kick by Leahy. And again, 49ers not able to run it out. So it'll be a first down at the 20 off the touchback. NBC's first camera tonight will highlight exclusive videotape pictures taken inside Grenada during the first 3 days of fighting. First camera has obtained never before shown pictures of Cubans, Americans, and Grenadians. That's tonight following football here on NBC.
Okay, the Jets have been doing a pretty good job defensively, trying to get to Joe Montana, putting pressure on him. They haven't created a sack, but they've been moving good.
And Montana able to elude Neal and complete to the tight end Francis. Russ Francis battles to the 35 for the first down. Jerry Holmes and Bob Crable getting Francis down, but it was a struggle.
You know, statistics tell a few things, but they don't tell plays like this. 277s, Kenny Neal and Bubba Paris. Neal makes a great play. All right, but Montana makes a better one. He feels him with the back of his head, ducks the swing, gets out, completes the pass to Francis. Now look at that. You just have to have a great feel for the game to make that sort of play. Complete it for a first down. Russ Francis runs well after he catches it.
15 yards on the play. Wilson is to the right. Montana looking that way. Now running out of traffic. Gastineau chasing him down. So Montana to the 39. Mark Gastineau on the tackle.
You always get the feeling you can think right along with a quarterback sometimes. I'm very empathetic for the way Joe feels. He's sitting there saying, hey, file this. I've had enough of this act. This play's over. How do I get back in the huddle? Picked up 4 yards, though.
You say you're empathetic? Very good, John.
We get long words. We have a long words
Stanford,
class.
huh?
Yeah.
The Stanford? Wow. It's a 2nd and 6. And that's Craig in motion. Tyler to the 41-yard line. Bob Crable leading the Jet coverage. It's Gastineau, Klecko, Lyons, and Neal up front in a 4-3 with Buttle, Crable, and Mel. The linebackers, Jackson and Holmes at the corners, and Ray and Schroy on the deep end.
All right, good pursuit. Good pursuit by Crable and the linebackers on that play. 3rd down and 4. The 49ers have not been able to run the ball, and that is what they thought they might be able to take advantage of because the Jets rush the passers so hard. They do leave a few lanes open for running. But the red-shirted fellas haven't found any.
And this is the #1 offense in the NFC coming in. Montana drilling one right at the first down marker. Dwight Clark on the reception. Lance Mel.
This depends on the spot.
Well, they put it right at the 45, and that should be a first down.
No, it's short. I'm going to
really from my angle. All right, let's wait.
I'm going to give you whatever. What are we allowed to bet?
No. All right, here are the yardsticks being called for.
In a lot of situations, you might see a team like, I think Bill Walsh, there's a good chance he may go for it on 4th down. If he has a good play, he will. Otherwise, he'll punt.
As I said, it would be short, John.
He's elected to punt. Now, that's later in the ball game. Obviously, he would go for it, even in the 3rd quarter. But right now, he does not want to have a chance when the Jets are hot to go down 21-3. That would be a little too big to overcome. Even though Atlanta did it last week, it's not going to happen 2 weeks in a row.
You know, John, only if we had a good location on the 50-yard line, I'd be able to see things much better. All right, Tom Oro's getting set to kick to Kirk Springs. Shaken up on the last punt return and fumbled. A big play. Marion Barber on that recovery to keep the drive alive. Good kick by Oro's. And the fair catch at the 16-yard line. Next Sunday, join host Len Berman as NFL 83 starts the day with feature reports and a preview of the day's games. And then an NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the LA Raiders take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Other games include San Diego and Pittsburgh, Cleveland at Green Bay, Buffalo at New England. And the second half of our doubleheader features an interconference battle between the Dolphins and the 49ers. Some areas will get Denver, Seattle, or the Baltimore Colts and the New York Jets. Check your local listings for the games and times in your area. 39-yard punt by Oros. And off the fair catch, first down for the Jets at the 16. 4:40 left in this first half. Jets lead 14-3. Crutchfield, a busy man in the first half. Out to the 23. The free safety, Dwight Hicks on the stop.
And that's the first time we've mentioned Dwight Hicks' name. They haven't had to make too many tackles, those strong and free safeties today, because the linebackers have been plugging well. The thing that's been good for New York is that they've thrown the ball well. They've thrown the ball into the right in the right spot at the right time. They've picked apart the defensive calls of the 49ers, and that's why they're ahead.
And the key has been the tight end Mickey Schuler starting, replacing the injured Jerome Markham. 5 receptions for Schuler. And again, it's Crutchfield out to the 25-yard line. Ricky Ellison on the stop. Today is the first day that this season that the 49ers secondary has been intact. Carlton Williamson making it back last week following the broken leg. Dwight Hicks back with the club after sitting it out last week, asked to renegotiate, and Ronnie Lott, Eric White in the corners.
That's true, but you know, some of the replacements were playing all-pro football before they got hurt. Rick Jervis, who was a walk-on free agent, was playing all-pro caliber strong safety. So the young boys have picked up the slack when their old pros have been hurt.
Third down, 1. Todd on a bootleg does not work. Keena Turner right there. Jets trying to fool the 49ers with the short yardage people, Durkin and Augustiniak in the lineup.
8 out of 9 times that play would have worked. Please don't fault the coach. He's got very little help right here. Keena Turner made the tackle on the play because Ronnie Lott was unbelievably active. He cut off the pulling guard and forced him to cut back, and Turner made a fine play. But I like calls like that. It'll work next time.
Chuck Ramsey looking to pop it. Dana McLemore comes up on it. 45. McLemore down to the 35. McLemore cutting inside the 10. And the Jets have to be thinking again, what is going on?
Well, they're not liking it, but how many times do you see a real big special teams play after a big 3rd and 1 play that didn't make it? McLemore gets the ball in good field position on the dead run. The ball was kicked a little low, but he broke through the wall in a perfect spot. This guy's been coming up with big plays for him on special teams for the last 4 weeks. Marv, most of these real great kickoff and punt returns have one key point of attack where they either break it or they run into somebody. How many times do you see a fella that's got this fine a balance getting through the 2 blockers, and the blockers did a great job of being able to get out of his way. Number 61 was Jess Cipolo, who is from the islands, obviously, and playing real good football at guard and center for them. And he made a fine play just getting out of the way.
51-yard return by McLemore off the 37-yard punt. 1st and goal down at the 7-yard line. Acceleration by Craig, but stopped. Tried the left side. Kenny Neal was right there.
And there was no movement from the offensive line on Kenny Neal's side. They are not pushing the Jets around. That's for sure.
2nd and goal at the 6. With the Jets in single file again. You see the clock working down to the 2-minute warning. That's the problem, according to the special teams coach Larry Pasquale, although Joe Walton said last week the special teams just not hustling on punt coverage. All right, with the timeout, let's pause for this.
These are some beautiful kids.
As a public service by the National Football League.
You know, we take a look at Bill Walsh. He's had to change what he would like to be doing right now. And that headset's allowing him to get a little bit of information, but he anticipated them to take charge of the line of scrimmage a little better than they have. They have lost at the line of scrimmage, and that's why they're losing on the scoreboard.
2nd and goal, 6-yard line, play action. Montana now being pursued, and he fires underthrow. Intended for Russ Francis. They went with a triple tight end alignment with Francis, Ramson, and Earl Cooper in a tight end. Bobby Jackson covering on the play. It'll be now a 3rd and goal at the 6.
And you see Joe Francis going back to talk with Montana, and that was just a miscommunication. Joe expected Russ to stop in the hole, and Russ thought Joe was going to throw it over the linebacker in the deep corner of the end zone. And those broken plays take a lot of coordination. That time it broke down.
White Clark is back. Earl Cooper departs, so they'll go double tight end. And now timeout. San Francisco has more to discuss, and they call for time.
And you notice number 26, Wendell Tyler, has not been featured as a running back. They haven't really run the ball much with him at tailback. They expected to be able to do so today. As a result, it sends you back to check your hole card, okay? Unless something's working, don't try to establish it.
There's Wendell Tyler, 6th season, UCLA. And these the late games. Seattle leading the Raiders 10-7. They had the Donnybrook a couple of weeks ago in Seattle. Miami leading the Los Angeles Rams 14-7 in the 2nd quarter. At halftime, NFL 83. We'll have all the highlights and a rundown of the complete scoreboard. Cincinnati over Green Bay, and the Bengals have turned around.
What happened to that every other week deal?
Right.
Green Bay forgot to play good this week.
So head coach Bill Walsh in his 5th year with the San Francisco 49ers, talking it over with Joe Montana, coach of the Super Bowl champs in 1981. Last season in the strike-shortened year, 49ers had that nightmare, 3 up, 6 down, and Walsh, bothered by the alleged drug problems that had hit the squad, was so disenchanted. At one point he considered getting out of coaching, but now it's Bill Walsh, president and coach of the 49ers.
Well, I know that was run up a lot. We can talk about that later in the ball game, but Bill's as good as Bill has ever been right now.
All right, off the 3rd and goal. Craig in a battle, but turned back.
He got it.
Oh, he got in. He just did get in. Lance Bell and Darrell Ray tried to stack him up, and Craig would not quit on it.
Well, let's take a look. We do see a flag thrown in the end zone. Let's see what the verdict is. You're going to see a man that knows where the goal line is, doesn't know how to get there himself, but he knows what you have to have over it.
The score will count. We had unsportsmanlike conduct on 28 of the defense, and it will be carried over to the following kickoff.
Well, when you take a man, he knows what has to get in. It doesn't matter if he does. The ball has to be there in his control. Boy, he makes a fine last-ditch effort. Remember, this is 3rd down. They do not, you don't know if they're even going to go for it if they have a yard to go on 4th down.
And Ray Wershing getting set to attempt the extra point. So Wershing continues his flawless kicking. And the Jets now lead the 49ers by the score of 14-10. There was that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against the Jets, but that penalty will be assessed for this upcoming kickoff.
You can see Joe is a little hot. He thought his linebacker should have kept. He thought they should have kept Craig out of that end zone. They did a pretty good job. I think it was just an outstanding piece of running. It'll be interesting to see right now, and I doubt that the Jets will get good field position due to that personal foul penalty. It'll probably be kicked in the end zone. But you see, Gastineau, you can beat a defensive end anytime by getting out around him, especially a man who moves as good as does Gastineau. But 51's the man who let him get away. Buttle had the first shot at him. When Craig broke that tackle, he had a chance to get to the end zone and did.
And Darrell Ray in that physical match with this guy, Roger Craig, and Craig just did get in. Here's another look. Better angle right here. Look at that.
You didn't have a lot to spare. But the ball hits the goal line. That's what tells you how much he had to spare.
Rookie out of Nebraska, Roger Craig, who played fullback and tailback for the Cornhuskers and finished as Nebraska's number 4 all-time rusher.
And they've had some good ones. And Mike Rozier right now is no slouch.
That was Craig's partner in the backfield last season. All right, Bruce Hopper is back, and the kickoff by Worthing. Hopper fielding out to the 10. In a race with Eason Ramson, and Ramson ran him out of bounds. 1:40 remaining in this first half, with the Jets in front, 14-10, a 45-yard field goal by Worthing. Durking took it over from 1 to cap off a long drive. 28-yard pass play. Todd, who has had an excellent first half, combining with Lamb Jones, and the touchdown a moment ago as Roger Craig battled his way in.
This is where it's important. You see a team that's got another team down, and I think the Jets have outplayed the 49ers in the first half, and the score is close, but I really think the Jets have played better. Now, they better not stop. Don't try to hold on to something and say, okay, let's go in at halftime with a lead. There's 1:40 left. There's still 3 timeouts left, and they've got to keep moving it the way they were, throwing that ball.
Gaffney right, Walker top of your screen. First down, 17. And here's Hopper. Keena Turner in pursuit. And Bruce Hopper for the first down, followed by the strong safety Carlton Williamson.
Chris Ward is having a little problem getting back to his feet. Laid a fine block on a linebacker. You can see he's limping back to the huddle, but if he is not in that lineup, they suffer immensely.
Well, they spotted the ball just short of the first down. It'll be second and less than a yard. We're down to 1.5 minutes left in this first half. Sellout crowd at Candlestick in San Francisco, the first of 3 straight home games.
And you see the man with the bald head? That's Bob McKittrick. His son is the quarterback that played for Oregon State yesterday in their upset victory over Stanford. Congratulations to Bob.
And the first down is picked up, plus some. Out to the 40-yard line is Scott Durking. Dwight Hicks, the free safety, making the tackle, and a timeout called by the Jets.
Joe Fields is playing a very, very solid football game against Pete Kugler right now.
So the Jets and the 49ers each have 2 timeouts remaining. Scott Durking picking it up. And Richard Todd over to talk with Joe Walton, who this week said the Jets just aren't playing with enough enthusiasm, not playing smart, and they're not playing as a group for 60 minutes, but feels the Jets are still in it with the 5 divisional games remaining.
Of course they're in it. You know, for people to say they're not in it, it really gets my anger up a little, because it's a lie. These guys are real good players. They got off to a very mediocre start, and in New York, people seem to jump on that factor, time in and time out. Now, it's okay for people to think a certain way, but these guys don't think that way. Joe Walton is a guy that's been around this game for a long time, and I really think he is on top of special situations. I happened to graduate from college with him the same year, and he's always been one of those guys that's got his head in the game at all times, Marv. And to me, that's the name of the game. Even as a tight end, he was always getting Tittle to try and throw him those singles when Tittle was looking for home runs and Del Schaffner. But he's thinking. He's always thought like a quarterback, and you don't need 3 of them on the sideline. One's plenty.
Well, they're in it in terms of the arithmetic, but if they lose, John, if they lose today, they are really in a very, very bad way. Right now, they have to win at least 6 of the next day. That was underthrown. It's incomplete. To go 9-7, which would not guarantee a playoff spot. You'd have a good shot with a wild card. They must win 6 of the next 8, and they're playing divisional teams. Sure, they're playing divisional teams. You can look at it as a positive because they have the opportunity to beat the guys in the division. Well, but those other guys want to win too.
Right.
So they're tough games.
I look at it as an athlete does, and I guess, you know, it's like I'm always looking for the pony in the barn, all right? And that's the way I look at it.
On second down and 10, Todd in trouble. First sack of the day, Twain Ford, one of the 49er heroes from last week, stealing the ball from Vince Ferragamo for the winning touchdown against the Rams.
I think Ronnie Lott may be called for defensive holding. That would be about a 30-yard penalty.
Yes, and Lott not pleased. Neither is that man, head coach Bill Walsh. So the Dwayne Board sack is erased.
Defensive holding, number 42, first down.
Pro bowler Ronnie Lott, one of the premier cornerbacks in the game, is called on the penalty, and it's a Jet first down at their 45, a minute and 15 remaining, first half. Durkin, and he is able to stretch ahead to pick up a first down. Lott on the tackle.
You know, we haven't seen, we know how good the 49er pass rush is, but they have not gotten to Richard, and he's at the line of scrimmage right now. Dean almost got him the last time.
And the hurry-up offense has worked for the Jets. Again, Scott Durkin. Tina Turner on the tackle. They have had success with this from time to time.
Well, it doesn't take, you know, you get down there and you say, okay, fellas, everybody try to get open. I'll see who I can find. And he's got these both his running backs running those circle routes, and anybody that comes open, he's going to pop them quick, and has done so on the last 3 occasions.
And now the Jets call for time.
Second and 4.
With 38 seconds remaining in the first half, the Jets lead the 49ers by the score of 14-10. And the Jets have a second and 4 at the 38 when we resume. Last week at Shea, the Jets blowing that 21-0 lead, losing to Atlanta. The Falcons scoring 3 touchdowns within 4 minutes to tie the score, as the Jets special teams had a poor day. Special teams opened up strong here, but then Dana McLemore burst for 51, and that led to the 49er touchdown.
Right. You know, you take a look and people generally say, well, okay, what are they talking about? They're talking about the number of seconds on that clock, how many timeouts they have, what sort of field position they have, whether or not they should get down the field, the sort of defenses they expect to see. And they've got plenty of time right now to go for the 7 points. They don't have to throw a sideline. Sometimes they're in a position where they would. They can do about whatever they want, even though there's only 38 seconds left. They've got a couple timeouts. They've got second down, so they've got 2 downs to get it. And 4 more yards will put them in field goal position.
All right, second down and 4. And Todd for Durkin, a hard hit, but he's able to hold on close to the first down marker. Ronnie Lott with the pop, and Scott Durkin is hurt.
They would love to have gotten to the line of scrimmage in a quick huddle. They had 2 plays called because of Lott's vicious hit on Durkin, which held Durkin short of the first down, by the way, only by a foot. They have to re-huddle, regroup. Real top play by Lott. He and Carlton Williamson just hit harder than any 2 backs I've ever seen.
Scott Durkin has been an important man the last couple of Jet drives, coming out of the backfield and shaken up. Jet trainer Bob Reese out to take a look.
You sure he lost the wind? He got when you have your attention on catching the ball, and boy, he caught it and was hit at just about the same time.
Amazing he was able to hold on.
Remember, he's going to have to come out of the ball game for one play, and that could be a big play. Third down and 1 foot. They'd like to have number 25 in there. I don't think it's anything that'll keep him out very long.
And as you see, the Jets using their final timeout, and now Scott is making his way to his feet.
Okay, it's a well-thrown ball. It takes a back that'll go and sacrifice his body, knowing he's going to get hit. I don't think he knew it was going to be quite that hard.
And Scott Durkin is all right. And here's the applause. The cheers earlier, I would think, looking at it from a positive point of view, were not directed at Scott Durkin. They were directed at the hit to Ronnie Lott. Well, some ballparks you do get that type of reaction.
Okay.
And the first down picked up by Mike Augustiniak. Fred Dean on the cover-up Clock running, though.
He better throw it out of bounds. I think they're in a spot where they could kick a 50-yard field goal. Augustiniak just lining up. The ball will be thrown.
All right, down to 10. Todd looking, and that does stop the clock with 7 seconds remaining. And here comes the field goal unit. Pat Leahy, 7 for 11. Missed 2 last week against Atlanta. Has had problems recently, missing from 44 on a 26-yard attempt was blocked, but a low kick. That was a big miss just before the start of just before the end of the half. And this is a 50-yard attempt. Pat Ryan puts it down, and here it is. And it's good. So Pat Leahy connecting on a 50-yarder.
That was good by 10. And there is not a lot of wind at Candlestick, although Candlestick is notorious for its wind. The wind is pretty calm today, maybe a little wind at his back, but that ball was out of here.
And the Jets extend to a 17-10 lead with 2 seconds remaining. 2 seconds left in the first half, and that is a career high. Pat Leahy with the longest field goal of his NFL career, 50 yards.
Well, the things that they haven't been doing well, they're doing well today. They've been opportunistic, and they've also played very solid.
And now the official call on that is 49 yards. All right, 50 sounds so much sweeter.
It was good for whatever.
So the 49 yards ties a career best for Pat Leahy, just to make it official. And with 2 seconds remaining, Leahy will kick off.
You wonder why these two are standing in single file, because they're trying to keep McLemore from having to commit himself to one side of the field or another. If they kick it anywhere that he can field it, Ring will be the blocker, McLemore will be the runner.
So that is Ring, number 30, in front of McLemore. And here's Leahy putting it on the ground. And one of the up men, Earl Cooper. So the backup tight end and running back, Earl Cooper, getting out near midfield, and that will do it. Stan Blinkup on the stop of Cooper, and this first half comes to a conclusion with the Jets leading the 49ers by the score of 17-10, moving to the 17-10 lead off the 49-yard field goal by Pat Leahy. We'll be back right after we pause for these words. And back in San Francisco, a good one going at halftime. The Jets leading the 49ers by the score of 17-10. Marv Albert with John Brodie. We welcome you back. It's been an excellent first half for Richard Todd. The stats show 15 for 19, 157 yards.
I think the things that the Jets wanted to do, they've done effectively. They've shut down Wendell Tyler. Richard Todd's been able to throw to his tight end. 4 receptions for Mickey Schuler. Remember, he's the only healthy tight end as far as the Jets are concerned. And they have a lot of things to be rather proud of. Another thing is I think they've fooled the 49ers in the first half as far as the types of coverages, and I think Montana has been less effective than normal because of it.
Montana 11 for 19 at halftime, but the Jets coming up with several big plays, and they have not been a successful big play club this season.
Well, I tell you, they have come up with their share. I think if I had one guy that I'd like to have come up with big plays, it'd be number 16. If I was on the losing end at halftime, this man never gives up in himself nor his group. So I look forward to a lot of action in the second half.
And it was after a sparkling fill-in performance against the Jets back in 1980 that Joe Montana caught the eye of Bill Walsh and has been a starter ever since. Joe Walton was just told that Mike Augustiniak suffered a muscle strain and probably will not return. Here's the kickoff handled by McLemore, the second-year man from Hawaii. This time, Dana McLemore stopped inside the 25. He returned a punt in the first half for 51 yards. John Woodring leading the assault, and the San Francisco 49ers now. First down at the 24-yard line. San Francisco record of 6-2, leading the NFC West. They've won 6 of their last 7 as you check out the first half statistics. And the Jets with the The advantage decisively in total yardage. A good first half for the Jets. Play action. Montana throwing sideline. Mike Wilson on the reception. Mike Wilson in his 3rd season out of Washington State, originally drafted by Dallas back in 1981, hampered by injuries last year. Picked up 18 on the play. Kenny Schroy on the stop. And a first down for the 49ers at the 42-yard line. They go with Bubba Paris and Keith Fodhorse at the tackles, John Ayers, Randy Cross at the guards, the center, Walt Downing replacing the injured Fred Quillen. And once again, Wendell Tyler not able to accelerate. Joe Klecko right there.
Well, it's nice, but when you have a trap play called, you do depend on Joe Klecko not to be there. And that time he just overwhelmed the interior of the offensive line for the Niners. Remember, that interior may be the best in the game. When you talk about John Ayers, you talk about Randy Cross, you talk about a great guard tandem. They have not been able to push around the defensive front four of the Jets.
And Tyler now 6 carries, 6 yards, and this is coming off a bad performance against his former club, the LA Rams, a week ago. 2nd down 9, 43-yard line of San Francisco. Montana off the roll. Able to swing it for Craig. Hit by Holmes. And Craig able to beat off the tackle. Gastineau couldn't get him, and it's a first down.
One defensive lineman in this game could have made that play. Gastineau has great speed and great size, no doubt about that. But for him to be able to pursue and make that play after Craig had gotten around the cornerback, made a fine play. Once he received the ball, that's a reception that he knew he was going to get hit. Holmes just bounces off. Now, Craig's got Holmes beaten. He's in for 6 if he gets by the rest of the group. You don't expect a guy with a 9 on his back to make the play.
19-yard pass reception. Very impressively done by Roger Craig. A Jet player is down. An official timeout. We'll be back in a moment. The right cornerback, Jerry Holmes, was shaken up on that play. He's all right, though. But had to head to the sidelines. First down for the 49ers at the Jet 38-yard line. And here's Craig. Short pickup for Roger Craig. Kenny Neal on the stop. It's Neal, Lyons, Klecko, and Gastineau up front. The linebackers, Buttle, Crable, and Mel.
I think they just put the onus. As you see, Seattle seems to have the Raiders' number. They beat them 38-36 a few weeks ago, and it looked like they really had everything going for them at that time. Since that time, they put Dave Krieg in at quarterback, and he's picked up right where they left off.
Raiders with a turnover city performance against the Seahawks at the Kingdome a couple of weeks back. 2nd down 7. And here's Montana looking to throw. And Montana just did get it off. Nearly intercepted by Jackson. Penalty marker down. A lot of action out there. Mark Gastineau all over Joe Montana. And let's see what this flag is all about.
It's usually holding when it's thrown in that area. Now, Joe's pretty nifty. He moves around very well in that pocket, but I think he'd like to have that decision over. As he was moving forward when he threw the ball, he's lucky he got back up.
The referee is Bob Frederick. And it's against the 49ers.
Offensive holding, number 51.
That is the first holding call in 2 games for that offensive line. Now, that was on Randy Cross, the all-pro guard, but they don't get caught very often.
Randy Cross, who was moved to center last week, replacing the injured Fred Quillen, but back at right guard with Walt Downing starting at center. 2nd down, 17. Francis in motion. Montana on the screen. Wendell Tyler, who has had success on pass receptions out of the backfield. So although his running game is not what it usually is, he has done it as a receiver, and he picked up 11 yards on the play.
Take a look at number 73 in the green and white. Joe Klecko. They've been concerned with him because of his speed since he's come back. Notice who gets in the play. Number 73. That's a very good indicator for the Jets. They might be able to play him back in his old position outside before the end of the year. And with those two bookends coming at a quarterback, it makes it tough indeed.
Of course, Joe has just not been the force since coming back from the knee injury and has been moved inside. 3rd down and 7. Montana looking left. And a hard hit on Ronaldo Nehemiah, and he's not able to hang on. Johnny Lynn, who came on when Jerry Holmes was forced out on the coverage of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was shaken up in the first half as he took a vicious pop.
That's right. He did that, and they're going to try a field goal. He took a vicious pop, but he did get up, and you've seen him running around early in the second half, and he seems to be all right. But the defensive secondary, they've had a few problems of late. They're covering the 49er wide receivers very well.
Now this will be close to a 53-yard attempt. Ray Wershing hit from 45 earlier. He's 16 for 17. A high snap off the fake. Here's Montana able to get it away to Wershing.
First down, touchdown. Oh!
Wershing down to the 20 for the first down and a penalty flag. Penalty marker down. So the 49ers having some fun.
That was totally unplanned. Joe had to go up, get off both knees in order to make the kick, and when he came down with the ball, it was not placed properly. So Wershing elected not to try and kick it along the ground. But I think you're going to see we have too many people downfield when that ball was thrown. Kind of fun to watch anyway. Okay, Joe has to get off the ground. When he gets down, Wershing's committed not to kick the ball. Now Joe comes out, he looks for Francis, nobody there.
Eligible man on the passing team downfield, number 68.
Quick thinking by the kicker Wershing to go out for the pass. A lot of times the kickers just hang around.
Well, they have a set-up play. It's just that that one didn't get it, and that's a big chance to regroup. I mean, if he'd have gone ahead and kicked the ball, they wouldn't have picked up the first down, wouldn't have had a chance to punt. That's worth 30 yards of field position, and by him picking up the first down, at least they get to try over.
That's Kirk Springs awaiting the punt from Tom Oros. And Springs back at his 5. Good coverage. Springs across the 10-yard line. Dana McLemore on the tackle. So the Jets will take over off the 40-yard punt. 11:19 left, third quarter.
New York.
Along with John Brodie, this is Marv Albert. Candlestick Park, San Francisco. Sellout crowd, better than 61,000. Jets 17, San Francisco 10. Richard Todd 15 for 19 of the first half. First down at the 11-yard line. Crutchfield picks up several. Carlton Williamson, the strong safety, making the stop.
The Niners guessed right. Okay, first play of the second half. Get him on the 10-yard line. They blitz. Lawrence Pillars, number 65, does a pretty good job. But as he's getting double-teamed, they don't push anybody off the line of scrimmage. Pellegrini makes contact, but when you're in a blitz, it's pretty hard to take a team and push them very far back. They're 7-5 ahead of you in people, and they stopped that play for 3 yards.
Second down, 7 out of the 14. Now we've received word Mike Augustiniak out for the game with a sprained knee. That's Marion Barber peeling off. And Todd throwing. Second down. He has Barber, but hit inside the 20 by Williamson. Marion Barber came up with a key fumble recovery in the first half in his second season out of Minnesota, a second-round draft pick. Been plagued by injuries over the years.
This boo is for the spot. These people at home obviously like to get the benefit of a good spot. They certainly gave that man all he was entitled, as they've got it 3rd down and 1 now on what looked to be about a 3-yard game.
It's the angle, Jack.
Oh, hey, they could be right.
3rd down and 1. And Crutchfield looking for the first down. He has it, and flags throw. Eric Wright on the tackle of Crutchfield. Good block by Marvin Powell.
First down. You see Joe is over on the sideline. He already knows what the situation
Defense number 59 encroaching will be refused. First
Willie
down.
Harper, outside linebacker, called for the offside.
He's not very often caught offside. Willie Harper's been playing outstanding football, 11-year veteran.
Jets first down at their 26-yard line. Johnny Hector carrying the ball for the first time today. Jack Hacksaw Reynolds on the stop. Hector, the rookie from Texas A&M, a second-round pick. So what with the injury suffered by Augustiniak, and the Jets always like to shuffle their running backs, particularly more so with the injury to Freeman McNeil. We're seeing the entire roster: Hector, Harper, Crutchfield, Augustiniak, Durking, and Barber.
You know, the thing that I think it takes away from an offense, even though they all are running effectively, as long as that offensive line keeps playing the way they are, is that you don't have that guy in the huddle you look at and you see his legs pulsating when you really need it. And that's what Freeman McNeil was giving him.
Lamb Jones slot left. And here's Todd off the roll. And he has the first down. Crutchfield stopped by Harper. Well, Crutchfield doing it on the ground and as a receiver. And a first down at the 38-yard line, a 7-yard advance. Jets lead it 17-10.
These are the things that Richard Todd has not been given the directions to do in the last couple of games. He's just dinking the ball down the field, taking what he's given. Obviously, remember, Walton's calling the plays. He's just doing the operating.
And the late games, things are tight throughout the National Football League. And Todd lofting it. And, oh, he had his man, Johnny Hector. And a big drop by Hector. Should have held on. Would have been bye-bye.
Well, it's one of those you just start looking at the goal line before you happen to have the ball. It hit on his shoulder pad. Once that happens, it's gone. You can see there it hit his face mask, and he didn't intend for that to happen. But I don't think Dwight Hicks would have been in a position to make the play.
Lamb Jones inserted in. He caught a touchdown pass earlier.
Those sort of things can deflate a group. When things have been going bad in the past couple of weeks, you have a chance to jump out to 14-point lead. It doesn't happen.
Johnny Hector had not carried the ball since a spectacular touchdown several weeks ago against Buffalo. Reverse. And it's Lamb Jones. 49ers had it diagnosed. Keena Turner right there.
Eric Wright made the play, though. From his cornerback position, he cut down the room that Lamb Jones had to work with, and he allowed Turner to close the gap. These fellas are in pursuit of this play all the way. But if they don't get it closed down, they're not going to make the play because Lamb Jones obviously has better speed.
So 3rd down 8 upcoming. For the Jets from their 39-yard line. Crowd looking to get in it. Trying to urge the 49er defensive unit on.
Well, they're trying to get him to play some defensive secondary.
Jets by 7, 17-10. And off the swing. Bruce Harper taken down by Carlton Williamson. And the Jets forced to punt.
When you see tackles like that, you don't have to look at the numbers. It's either 42 or 27. That man has only been healthy for a couple of weeks, but just look at the aggressiveness that this man tackles with. What can I say? Keena Turner's in pursuit and actually got his arms wrapped around the running back, but it looks like he's not getting up.
So Turner is shaken up. Timeout has been called. Hits here this afternoon over at the sideline.
I think he got hit by his teammate that time.
And Chuck Ramsey getting set to punt for the 4th time inside his 30. That's Dana McLemore. Back of the 17. Good hang time. McLemore misjudged it and then able to recoup. So the fair catch inside the 15-yard line. NBC's first camera this evening will highlight exclusive videotape pictures taken inside Grenada during the first 3 days of fighting. First camera has obtained never before shown pictures of Cubans, Americans, and Grenadians. That's tonight. That'll be following football right here on NBC. Ball spotted at the 15. 43-yard punt by Ramsey. First down for the 49ers. 7.5 left, third quarter. And here is Craig. Roger Craig following the right guard, Randy Cross. Joe Klecko on the tackle.
Randy pulls so well that's one of the few plays you can't call unless you have either a superior offensive tackle that pulls real well or a guard. And in this case, number 51 can pull with any of them.
Picked up 5, second down and 5. 49ers took a 3-0 lead on a 45-yard field goal by Wersching. And early second quarter, Durkin from 1 off a long drive gave the Jets a 7-3 lead. Johnny Lamb Jones, 28-yard touchdown pass. Roger Craig, 6-yard TD pass and a long field goal by Leahy. Here's Craig. Trying to pull away right near the first down marker. Lance Mell on the stop. And again, that extra effort by Craig. And a first down picked up by San Francisco. All right, let's get back to our studios in New York for an update.
Okay, thank you, Marv. Albert in Los Angeles. Following an interception, the Raiders drive, and here is Mark Wilson at quarterback. Rolls out to his left. Plenty of time. There's Don Hasselbeck open, so the Raiders are now within 3. All right, back to Marv and John now.
Thank you, Lennon. Here in San Francisco, first down for Montana from the 26, and broken up, nearly picked off by Ken Schroy. Pass intended for the tight end, Russ Francis.
Ken Schroy made excellent coverage. Strong safeties are genuinely the people you'd like to get into one-on-one coverage because they're noted for their hitting, not generally their man-to-man coverage. Schroy's with Francis all the way, no help, plays the ball beautifully.
Now this is a game that has not yet seen an intercepted pass, and 2 sack-conscious clubs have not come up with a sack.
Well, that's because both sides are playing real good offensive pass protection, but they are forcing particularly Montana to throw it before he wants to.
2nd and 10. Craig. Missed by Lyons. Another good spurt by Roger Craig, running right by Marty Lyons. Lance Mell on the tackle.
You don't hold any one person responsible when you get all those players scattered around the field and you give the ball to a back like Roger Craig. He's made 5 or 6 runs on different occasions that show you why they picked him in the 2nd round. And Bill Walsh said, hey, this guy might end up just like Franco Harris. He doesn't have to go all out at all times. He picks his holes. He waits for his openings. He's done it on 4 or 5 occasions, and he's got him to within a foot of a first down.
So the third down play at the 35. 6 minutes left, third quarter. Jets lead by 7. And the snap leading to the mishandle. Joe Klecko covering up Joe Montana. Let's see, may have picked it up. He did.
He did pick it up, but it's quick reactions. It's the sort of thing you don't expect. Number 73 is pinching down. He knows it's a short yardage play, but Joe didn't. He bobbled the ball. That's why he had the quarterback sneaking. That reaction to pick up that quick 1.5 is just, it's as good as a turnover.
Tina Turner, we're told, suffered a sprained thigh and will return. You saw the clock, 5.5 remaining third quarter. Good play action with Tyler, and Montana completes. Dwight Clark short of the first down. Lance Mell on the tackle.
I've seen Lance Mell play some awfully good pass defense in the past few years, and I've seen him come up with big interceptions at critical times. You give a quarterback like Montana enough time to throw the ball to his receivers in those little holes, and it doesn't matter who's playing linebacker, he's not going to pick up those top flight receivers. Joe's had enough time. They're mixing it up pretty well. They're going to hit in that area.
2nd and 1. So the 49ers methodically moving toward midfield. Jets lead it 17-10. 4.5 left, third quarter. And Craig battling for the first down. Roger Craig stopped by 3 Jets, led by the middle linebacker Bob Crable. Strong safety Ken Schroy.
Crable made a fine play, and when you have number 99, he's going upfield. He's getting after the quarterback. All right, that opens up a lane. But 73 fills it very quickly. They know where they're trying to hit. Crable's right in there at the point of attack, and both of them stop the play for about a yard gain. It's third down and another foot.
A high compliment, but Jet people feel that Crable will develop into a Bill Berkey type player.
That is high compliment. People are fast to throw around names and comparisons, but you have to play a while to do things like that.
Oh, Wendell Tyler was really ripped
by Bob Crable.
Wendell Tyler driving for the first down was stopped.
Yeah, he's driving. You can almost have to drive home after that play because right here it looks as if this is an easy first down pickup, but Crable has seen the play all the way, stops Tyler in his tracks, forces a punt. That's no wonder people think he'll be great.
Bob Crable, in his second season out of Notre Dame, has had himself a solid game here at Candlestick, and Tom Oros is back to his 30 to punt.
Playing that four-man defensive line, you need plays like that out of your middle linebacker.
There's Kirk Springs awaiting the punt back at his 10. Oros in his third year out of Ohio State, getting a poor kick away. He had his problems last year with Miami, and he was signed right at the start of the year when the 49ers were not satisfied with Jim Miller and Cliff Parsley.
Let's see what the flags are about.
It involves San Francisco. A 27-yard punt by Oros.
You can see Bill Walsh is a little concerned. His team has been operating at a very high level for the past 6 out of 7 weeks. The only exception being the first Ram game. This ball club is not executing.
Member of the kicking team, number 61, downfield. The penalty will be refused. 1st and 10.
These guys are not going the way they've become accustomed to.
Len Berman in New York, and in Los Angeles on 4th and goal, Seattle decides to go for it. Kurt Warner turning the corner. Can he get in against that Raider defense? The answer is yes. Seattle goes back on top by 10. Back to Candlestick.
Talk about your great running backs. How good is Kurt Warner?
Well, we have seen him on a couple of occasions. What a rookie season. 1st and 10 at the 27 as the Jets take over following the poor punt by Oros. Here's Crutchfield. He tried to pick his way.
You know, at the line of scrimmage right now, we mentioned that the 49ers were being outguessed. Right now, George Seifert, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, is calling the proper plays, the proper defenses, because he's got people right in the holes where the Jets would like to run and were able to early. This time, Pillars, Lott, Ellison, all 3 of them are sitting right in the hole.
2nd down 8. Crutchfield did collect a couple. There's Lawrence Pillars, 4th year with San Francisco. He played 4 seasons with the Jets. In his 8th year out of Alcorn A&M. 2nd down 8. The Jets at their 29. They lead it 17-10. And Todd with time. Again, the tight end shooter. And what a head fake he tried to put on. Carlton Williamson, Ricky Ellison, Eric Wright involved on the stop, but a flag down.
They're trying to take away the wide receivers. When you do that, you have a problem, but it's an offensive pushing on the left tackle. Chris Ward, number 72. You could see it. They saw it from the line judge, or over the side judge over here.
Illegal block. Offense number 72.
So it is Chris Ward. Ward and Powell at the tackles. Pellegrini, Alexander at the guards, and Fields at center. Pellegrini replacing the injured Stan Waldman, who's out for the year with a knee. And that has been another injury that has hurt the Jets. 2nd down 18.
49ers have put 4 men on the defensive line, too.
Look out, Todd was hit. Off the blitz, Keena Turner all over. Richard Todd, the intended receiver, Lamb Jones.
This is where Richard Todd has found himself in trouble previously. When he gets hassled, sometimes he'll make a decision and throw the ball up impetuously, as he does here. He doesn't have a receiver that's anywhere near open. Okay, you throw it in the middle of the field in a situation where the game is 17-10. You can't afford a turnover. If that happens, it changes the flow of the whole game. So Richard's going to have to figure out before that happens where he might want to go with it in case it happens, and then fire it into the cheap seats. When he starts doing that, he's going to be one of the great ones.
All right, Todd, 18 for 24, 174 yards, and now facing a 3rd down at 18, back at his 19-yard line. And Todd fumbled. Wayne Ford on the recovery. The hit by Brodie, and the 49ers with a big play take over.
That That's the sort of play the 49ers have been counting on for the past couple of years, and they count on it from number 74. And number 76 comes up with the ball, but these two guys work in combination. Hawk was given enough time to throw. He couldn't find a receiver. Chris Ward on Fred Dean, one-on-one. It's a little tough to handle a man like Dean one-on-one. He knows where to go, get the man's arm. That's where the ball is. He does it, creates a fumble. First and 10 on the 12.
2 minutes left, third quarter. And the 49ers off the fumble recovery with a shot to tie it up. Montana on first down, and down he goes. 73, Joe Klecko.
Super play by Joe Klecko, but take a look at the composure of Montana. He knows he doesn't want to get hurt, but it's not third down, it's first down. He can come back and regroup. Klecko just beats Cross on the play. When he does so, give the man credit, regroup. Okay, it's 2nd and 16, but we got some more playing to do.
And that's the first sack on the day for the Jets. 3.5 on the season for Klecko. 2nd down, 16, back at the 17. Wilson in motion. Montana on the run and gets to the 10. Did not have much choice, could not find anyone.
Nor did he have much room, big fella. It's really hard sometimes to fall down. When you get out there in the middle, what do? You can't just fall down. Where do you can't find a hole? You know those linebackers are really after a piece of you. He makes as much yardage as he can, then tries to crawl in a hole. He's still got a 3rd and 8, but it's better than 2nd and 16.
Has been replaced now by Ben Rudolph.
Right, you know, you can tell when a ball game's it's entertaining. All players are standing up.
All right, here's Craig on the reception. Off the spin move. Down to the 6-yard line. Lance Mel on the stop.
Good play by Lance. That keeps him to a field goal try. All right, Joe doesn't want to come off to Roger Craig. He'd like to throw the ball down the field. He's going back. He's looking over the middle. He wants to go to Dwight Clark. He can't do it. He has to come off to Craig. Good linebacker play. Holds the ball short of a first.
It is a 4th down and about 4. And so here is Ray Wershing, who hit from 45 earlier. And able to connect again, and then Wershing just fell down.
Nobody said he could run.
So it is down to a 17-13 Jet lead. Here's another look.
Very simple. Gets the ball up. Next case, run off the field, right? Whoops.
Nice move by Ray off the 24-yard field goal. It is a 17-13 Jet lead with 22 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Jets have lost 3 straight, record of 3-5. 49ers coming off the come-from-behind victory over the Rams, 6 up and 2 down. A reminder, next Sunday, join Len Berman, NFL 83, getting it all underway. An NFL doubleheader coming up here on NBC. Most of you will see the Raiders and the KC Chiefs. Other games include San Diego at Pittsburgh, Cleveland at Green Bay, Buffalo at New England. The second half of the twin bill featuring that interconference battle, Miami and San Francisco. In some areas, you'll see Denver at Seattle and the Baltimore Colts and these New York Jets. Check your local listings for the games and times in your area.
Yeah, that's a nice looking picture of that man in the helmet. But this man in the helmet, number 34, Johnny Hector, who had an excellent chance to break this ball game wide open, dropped what looked to be a sure touchdown, and now the ball game is anybody's.
Oh, a deep kickoff by Wershing, and Springs will stay right there. So the Jets will put it in play at their 20-yard line. The big play by Fred Dean, stripping Richard Todd. The recovery by Dwayne Board, leading to the field goal by Wershing.
You can tell Bill Walsh is very concerned. He said before the ball game, I know these fellas from New York are like a bunch of sleeping giants. He said they've only stopped themselves, and for us to think we can run over them is foolishness. And he's getting just what he expected.
16 seconds remaining third quarter. That's Walker in motion. Todd throwing, first down. Can't find anyone. and is able to complete for the first down. Eric Wright on the coverage of Bruce Hopper. And time is running down. That's the end of the third quarter. The score, the Jets 17, the 49ers 13. We'll be back after these messages from Marv Albert with John Brodie. Fourth quarter getting underway. Jets with the first down play.
Last 4 series in a row, Marv, they've run that ball on first down over the right side of the offensive line. That's the first time they picked up any sort of yardage that was respectable.
Bruce Hopper picking up 6 yards on the play.
That's right. And his offensive line again playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
It'll be a second down and 4 at the 40. Scott Durkin and Bruce Hopper in the backfield. Long count by Todd. And Todd throwing for Walker. Step for step with Ronnie Lott. So Wesley, the intended receiver. Third quarter, Seattle leading the Los Angeles Raiders 24-14 in the third. Third quarter, Miami over the LA Rams 24-14, and the crowd responding to that score. Denver leads Kansas City 17-10 in the third.
They keep doing it with mirrors. Cincinnati coming back, playing up to the level they're capable of, Marv. Green Bay having a tough time.
Joe Fields leading the Jets to the line. Third down 4 from the 40.
He'd like to throw it to Walker, and it looks like he's one-on-one with Ronnie Lott.
Todd looked that way. And Todd has the first down and some more. So Richard Todd picking it up. He was looking to the right for Wesley Walker, who was well covered.
And that's why he didn't have any linebackers that he had to beat. When he looked to the right, the linebacker flow went with it. Okay, now he's able to break through the defensive pass rush. When he does so, he's got a little room to operate in. He knows where the sideline is. He would like to have gone to Wesley Walker, who was one-on-one with Ronnie Lott. Or check me. That's Richard Pridemore. New acquisition in the nickel defense.
So Todd picked up 13, and it's a first down at the 47. Here's Crutchfield. Picked up about 4. Dwayne Crutchfield, second year out of Iowa State. Crutchfield. Front 3 of Pillars, Kugler, and Board. On the tackle, the linebackers, Harper, Ellison, Reynolds, and Turner. And the secondary, Lott, Williamson, Hicks, and Wright. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the NFL is prohibited. Second down and 6.
Again, one-on-one, Ronnie Lott.
And Crutchfield stiff arms his way. First down and more. The right cornerback getting him out of bounds.
He's been able to remove himself from a few linebackers today. This time, number 58, Keena Turner, thought to be, this is Willie Harper. Trying to get him by a jersey. He just gives it to him, takes it back, runs past the containment, picks up a first.
17 yards for Crutchfield.
Here's Dwight Hicks, number 22, the free safety. When his number's called, you know the man's made a few yards.
Crutchfield, 14 carries, 67 yards, having a terrific day. Crutchfield again, that time he slipped. 2 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter, and the Jets leading the 49ers 17-13.
Commanding drive, though. The Jets are moving people around up front, and when they don't, their backs are running out of the tackles. So right now, the Jets are looking good. They do need 7 points if they're to get a commanding lead, though.
This is similar to the drive in the second quarter, despite all the penalties, which led to the touchdown by Durkin from short yardage. Play action. Todd pursued by Turner, looking for Gaffney and broken up. Eric Wright able to keep it away from Derek Gaffney.
Boy, it's such a close, volatile play. You know, they call so many interference penalties when you're watching a man this close. This is Derek Gaffney and Eric Wright. Yeah, now as he makes his turn, Eric has got his hands off, but he's as much entitled to the ball as is Gaffney. Makes a fine play over the receiver's head and pulls it down. Now, that's the way things are going for New York, though. This was a safety blitz. Todd happened to be rolling to the right, and the safety blitz man got caught up in the wash, allowing Todd enough time to throw. Gaffney beat him. It's one-on-one and looked like a touchdown.
3rd down, 7. Durking and Hopper in the backfield. At the San Francisco 23. Todd. And he is hit by Stover. Jeff Stover from his left defensive end position with a key play.
Smart play by Todd, though. If he tried to be a hero, he'd have thrown it up. The ball had been picked off. We saw that happen earlier. This time he decided to eat it. Jeff Stover made a big play, but they're still within field goal range. You can see Ronnie Lott knows this is a big drive. They've at least held the Jets to 3. That's within a touchdown of getting back in the ball game. They actually haven't played that well so far.
All right, Leahy, this from 47, and he's got it again. Pat Leahy, who connected from 49 yards away earlier, hitting from 47, and the Jets lead the 49ers 20-13. Problems today, again, hitting from long range.
Well, primarily because he's a good kicker, Marv. I think kickers are subject to having problems from week to week, but the good ones don't let it bother him, and I think he's illustrating that he is a good one.
And Leahy getting set to kick off. The line drive over the head of Bill Ring. And Leahy's kickoffs have been very effective. Today's game from Candlestick in San Francisco is being brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth. Quality products from the new Chrysler technology. By Castrol Motor Oil, engineered for today's smaller, higher revving engines. And by the Pabst Brewing Company, brewers of Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. For the real taste of beer, Pabst is the place. San Francisco first down at their 20-yard line. 12 minutes, 12 seconds remaining, 4th quarter. And the Jets lead the 49ers 20-13. Montana off the swing. Russ Francis. And hammered down at the 24-yard line. Some fireworks. Well, right now, let's get to New York for an update.
Marv, look what Seattle's doing to the Raiders in the Coliseum. A fake field goal. Jim Zorn throws it to David Hughes. Seattle's on top 31-14, beating the Raiders for the 2nd time in 3 weeks. Back to you, Marv.
All right, Len, and let's see, it may have been a late hit there. I mentioned the fireworks as we were leading to the update, and a little extracurricular activity.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 77 on the defense. An elbow to the middle of the back.
And that's,
first down.
They can tell down there on the field of play whether it was intentional, whether it was uncalled for. And I'll tell you what, you get somebody down, don't do something stupid. This is the sort of thing a team that's a little frustrated does in critical situations, and you can't do it.
It's Kenny Neal, so the first down at the 38-yard line, a flag tossed high in the air off the handle. Penalty marker down.
And I think it's against the Jets again.
Wendell Tyler on the carry. And yes, it is against the Jets.
All right, you see a perplexed Joe Walton. He knows his team, flow-wise, has got this game right where they want it.
On the defense, number 99.
He didn't start early. He just lined up on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Mark Gastineau called on the penalty. Jets hit with their 8th of the day. They've lost 81 yards because of penalties. First down and 5 at the 43. And here's Crane with acceleration for the first down. Bob Crable, Marty Lyons on the stop. Roger Craig picking up the first down for San Francisco.
Well, as fast as he pass rushes, and he lots of times takes the inside release, Eason Ramson figures he can block down on him and keep him from getting into the play. But that man's so fast, he's still got a piece of Roger Craig.
And we're told that Dana McLemore, superb special teams player, has a minor knee problem, should be all right. First down at midfield. 11 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. And Tyler will try again. he just can't get off. Now, last week, Bill Walsh did go away from Tyler in the second half.
But it was different than this week. Last week, the holes were there, but he was fumbling. He picked up 7 yards and fumbled the ball. He fumbled twice in 7 carries. Well, you can't do that and be effective. He might have been trying too hard. That was the explanation. But right now, he's fine. He has nowhere to run. Throws about the only thing that are keeping the drives alive. Throws and penalties.
Jets have handled the rush very well, something that was not the case earlier in the season. Jeff Moore has come on, replacing Wendell Tyler. Second down 9. And Montana over the middle, picked off. First interception of the day. So the Jets take over. It's Lance Mel with his 4th interception of the season, and that pass intended for the tight end, Eason Ramsey.
When we said Lance Mel has come up with a lot of timely interceptions over the past few years, what he does is he plays his keys, and he plays them very well. The center and guard combination showed pass. He dropped into the lane. They didn't expect it, and he picked it off. Jets defense has fooled him so far today. They've been very vulnerable for deep throws. He hadn't been able to throw the ball deep on him, and I just think defensively, by structure, they have surprised the Niners.
Jets take over at their 44-yard line. Here's Johnny Hector carrying for the second time today. Gets across the 45. Willie Hopper, the outside linebacker right there. Getting back to the interception by Lance Mel between Todd and Montana. As you see time remaining in the 4th quarter. Between the two, they had thrown 56 passes, and finally, 1 was intercepted.
That's right. Well, you know, I'm telling you, Joe Montana makes very few throws like that, and he almost was able to bring that ball down because he did see Mel just as the ball left his hand. He generally will not make that sort of mistake. That's the sort of mistake that all quarterbacks make, but he seems to make very few. On the other hand, Todd has made excellent decisions every time he's had to today.
Second down 8. Trouble. Wayne Ford on the sack.
Okay, they know they're in trouble. They're in a dogfight. They've got to do something to create defensively what they haven't been able to do offensively. They've got to put the Jets in a bind. Dan Bunce, number 57, designated pass rusher from the linebacking slot. 245 pounds, comes in, forces Richard out of the pocket, but Wayne Ford picks it all up.
3rd sack of the day for the Niners, number 7 on the season for Board.
This is characteristically where a team that's trying to make something real good happen goes bad. If it's 3rd and 18, trying to create something that isn't there, to put them in a hole, it'll be interesting to see.
3rd and 17. Todd able to complete to Hopper. And short of the first down. Run out by Keena Turner. Now let's get back to New York for an update from NFL 83.
Marv, an explosive game in Los Angeles right after the fake field goal for a touchdown by the Seahawks. Back comes Mark Wilson, 50 yards to Dokie Williams. Pretty play. The Raiders within 10 again. Now back to Marv and John.
They don't have any 11-point plays, though.
Another wild one between the Raiders and the Seahawks. Chuck Ramsey back at a 35, and let's see, no one downfield. They're letting him boot away. McLemore moved up toward the line of scrimmage, and it carries in.
Wise, too, because they have 2 people playing wide. They were going to try and get the block punt. If it doesn't work, file it. We won't have any punt return coverage. Instead, don't let them throw on 4th down for a sure completion. They got up and checked it.
4th quarter, it's the Jets 20, the 49ers 13, and the 49ers first down at their 20-yard line. That's Wilson in motion. Montana looking that way. Montana running out of the pocket, and down he goes. Marty Lyons, number 93, stopping the scrambling Joe Montana.
And Russ Francis knows if he just could have found a way to get out of his way, he'd have picked up a first down, but he couldn't. He was the layoff. He was standing around by the time Joe decided to run. He was the man that held him up.
Second down and 7. Looking at the statistics, he has completed 3 times to Dwight Clark as Joe Montana, 3 times to Wendell Tyler, 3 to the tight end, Russ Francis, and 6 to Roger Craig. It's not a good sign.
Shows you the defense is winning.
Throw to halfbacks. Montana throwing sideline and completes Dwight Clark stopped by Bobby Jackson, a first down.
He may have been given a very good call there. As Dwight walks back to the huddle, we'll probably be able to tell by the look on his face. He makes these catches so automatically that I think sometimes somebody would take his eye off whether or not he made this one. As he goes down to get it, it looks like it goes through his hand. Nope, he got it. He got it. Well, they gave it to him.
All right, first down at the 35-yard line. 7.5 left, fourth quarter. It's Wendell Tyler again, Zippo. He's hearing it now.
He can hear it all he wants. If I was him, I would go when I got in the huddle, say, hey, how many guys are they using over there? Because he has had nowhere to run.
So you're blaming the offensive line.
As good as they are generally right now, they're not playing well. Or else, and I'm sure the front four of the Jets have something to do with it.
Been Gastineau, Klecko, Lyons, and Neal most of the way for the Jets. Buttle, Crable, and Mel, the linebackers. 2nd and 10 from the 35. Montana throwing the middle. And completes to Wilson. Mike Wilson. Johnny Lynn on the stop. 33-yard pass play.
Hey, Mike Wilson is one of those guys, one of those real talented wide receivers that's also big. So in the middle, you've got a plus. Johnny Wilson, number 29, is coming over late trying to make a play on him, but once he breaks free, it looks like he's gone. Lynn makes a fine play to grab a shoe, keep it from being a touchdown.
First down for the 49ers at the Jet 32. Montana directing traffic. Long count. Play action. Going deep. Intended for Wilson. Covered by Jackson.
Well, you say all week to yourself, every wide receiver says, I'll tell you, all I want's a one-on-one with a cornerback, and I'll whip him every time, right? Not every time. That time Jackson came out on top. He got the one-on-one situation. Wilson may have been a little tired. He just came off a big play, couldn't beat him deep.
It'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 32. You look at the stats of Joe Montana. Now he has Ronaldo Nehemiah, who's taken a couple of hard hits, lining up to the right.
Remember, Thoughts right now, they've got 4 downs for a first down. That's in their thinking. There's no kicking or punting or a field goal or nothing else.
Roger Craig. This time the Jets able to wrestle him down inside the 30. Mark Gastineau on the stop.
And because of that, that play was just like a 1st and 10. They know they have 3 plays. They're trying to get a first down. They're going on 4th from now on. The game's too far gone. Gastineau, pretty good contact by number 80, Eason Ramson on Gastineau, forcing him down the field.
Crowd reacting to the announcement that the Dolphins now lead the Rams 30-14.
The Dolphins are good. Since Dan Marino came in there at quarterback, they have been a superior team to the rest of the league.
And he had himself a day against the Jets several weeks back. 3rd down and 6. Penalty marker down. Tyler not able to hold on.
Now that was a great throw. There's a penalty marker down, as you say, but he had Mel by a step.
Offside, San Francisco.
I think you'll see them decline the penalty. It'll be 4th down.
Offside, number 81 of the offense. Penalty will be declined. 4th down.
I would be very surprised for him to kick it, but it looks like Walsh has elected to go on there and kick it.
Russ Francis called on the offside, and in a discussion with the referee Bob Frederick.
They also could have some sort of a try to draw him off sides play here. I don't know whether they will or not. It'll be a 45-yard field goal, a little against the wind, which is easily reachable, but they need 7.
All right, Wershing has hit from 45 and from 24. He's 17 for 18. Low kick and way off. So Ray Wershing finally misses one. And And I think depending on what the outcome is when we look back at
Look
this
at his
one,
foot, Marv. I think he slips a little bit. No, he didn't. He caught it on the grass going into the ball.
I think that folks will question the call of Bill Walsh. The difficulties at home. Of course, most of that record through the bad season.
That's right.
Last year.
They haven't played much at home this year.
Jets first down at the 28-yard line following the missed field goal. Crutchfield stopped behind the line. Ricky Ellison, the inside linebacker, on the tackle.
You know, I'm sure there will be a lot of second guessing on Bill Walsh. How many times when there have been 4 or 5 minutes left in the game and he knows on 4th down he has gone for it? I think more than anything, it illustrates how much confidence he has in his defensive unit to shut down the Jets, who have been pretty good offensively all day. And when you have that much confidence in your group, I think it's catching. And I'm not saying I'd have done the same, but I don't know what he knows down there. He's fooled me on so many occasions. I'm not going to second guess the man.
It's called a 2nd and 10. That's Jones in motion. And Crutchfield stopped by Turner. Short pickup. Recapping, 45-yard field goal by Wershing, giving the 49ers a 3-0 lead. Durking took it in from 1-7-3 Jets. Second quarter, Lamb Jones, 28-yard touchdown pass play, contributing to the lead along with a Roger Craig 6-yard pass play, making it a 14-10 Jet lead. Leahy extended to a 17-10 with a 49-yard field goal. Leahy again from 46. Wershing hit from 24. And it's a 20-13 Jet lead. Scott Durking again with a big play.
Oh, brother, I'll tell you, that's fooling him. When you run a play like that, and what he did is he got number 54 for the San Francisco 49ers, Ron Ferrari, to go out in motion. Okay, before the snap of the ball. Now, when they make their cross block, there are no linebackers in there. If you don't have any linebackers and you get past the line of scrimmage, it's thank you very much. We'll just run till we get tired. They did.
31-yard run by Durkin. And he has now carried the ball 4 times for 47 yards. First down at the 49er 36-yard line. Crutchfield. Was not a pretty handoff. Ricky Ellison on the tackle. And the Jets now, with 2.5 remaining fourth quarter, would just like to hold on to that football.
Well, they're going down to the 2-minute mark right now before they even come out of the huddle. That means the 49ers, who have 3 timeouts left, can still stop the clock with plenty of time to play, providing they don't give them a first down. If they give them a first down, 1 first down will help them a whole minute on the clock. This is the last chance for survival as far as Bill Walsh and his group is concerned.
So the clock is stopped with 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The timeout is called. And we check the scoreboard. Atlanta defeating New England 24-13. These are final scores. Giants losing to the Cowboys 38-20. Baltimore come from behind win over Philadelphia 22-21. Jets play Baltimore next week at Shea Stadium. Buffalo knocking off New Orleans 27-21. As we mentioned earlier, it has been a very fine day for the AFC in interconference play. Detroit over Chicago, overtime. Houston, they had it within their grasps and lose again.
Both them and Tampa Bay.
St. Louis bouncing back from the poor mutual effort this past Monday with the Giants, and Tampa Bay also let it slip away to Pittsburgh. And that wild one in the fourth quarter, Seattle leading the LA Raiders 31-21. Miami over the Rams 30-14 in the fourth.
Boy, Miami is really putting themselves up there. Denver's winning with mirrors up there. And they're going to go 6-3, and I'll tell you, they've had a little trouble scoring any touchdowns. Cincinnati's starting to play the way they've been capable and haven't been doing. And this man knows he's trying to win a ball game where his team is playing sub-performance, and he's done it on several occasions, but it looks like it's getting more and more bleak for today.
Second down and 5 for the Jets at the San Francisco 36. 2:09 remaining fourth quarter. Here's Crutchfield. Keenan Turner with the wraps around him. And now we get down to the 2-minute warning. So with 2 minutes left, it's the Jets 20, the 49ers 13. And now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes.
And it's intercepted instead by Dave Brown, and he fumbles it. But Seattle finally recovers. They've got it. They lead by 10. Back to San Francisco.
Well, they won't have enough room on the highlight film for the two Raider-Seattle games.
Yeah, they ought to make them play in the offseason until they get it right.
3rd down and 5. 2 minutes remaining. 4th quarter. Jets lead it 20-13.
Blitz.
And it's Bruce Harper. Turned back by Keena Turner. What a game for Keena Turner.
Here comes Pat. And let's see if he can kick this 50-yarder, because he's got about 48 yards to kick and put the game out of reach. If he doesn't do it, remember the 49ers did not have to call any timeouts, and they haven't done so. There's 1 minute and 38 on the clock. They've got 3 timeouts left. 46 yards for the game on ice.
Wiley is hit from 49 and from 46. This looks to be about 47. Here it is. No good. So the 49ers still alive.
You know, the incredible thing, Marv, is that the Niners have the feeling, hey, when they miss the field goal, now it's our game. I mean, all they have to do is go 71 yards in 1 minute and 23 seconds with 3 timeouts. That's no easy chore, but they've been doing it so often they feel like can.
1 minute 23 remaining in this 4th quarter. Stay tuned. First camera next on NBC, except on the West Coast and most Mountain Time Zone stations where it will be shown at its regular time. Here's Montana with time. White. Clark not able to hold.
Yeah, but he was very lucky. I think that stopped the clock.
Ken Schroy covering on the play. There's Clark, 5th year out of Clemson. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NBC Football is Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game has been produced by George Finkel, directed by Andy Rosenberg, our technical director Ray Figelski, associate director Ray Benassi. 2nd down and 10. 49ers at their 29. 1:17 remaining. Penalty flag throw. And Montana going down.
I think he got an offsides by number 99, who got a little bit antsy in his stance. And if that is so, they make 5 yards again. They don't have to call timeout. We don't know. Maybe it's on 71. Maybe he caused him to do that. It looks like by the Jet reaction, that's the way they're ruling it.
Number 99 of the defense was offside. Offensive holding, 77, and the down will be replayed. The down will be replayed, and the foul's offset.
But you have to hold if the guy's offside. He's got a very big edge if you don't.
Bubba Paris, the left tackle, and Mark Gastineau called on the penalty, so it's a 2nd down and 10 at the 29.
And I think that's what Fonhorst's concern was.
There's Montana, who has not had success going deep, picked off by Jerry Holmes. So Holmes to the 25.
He's going in.
Jerry Holmes wrapping it for the Jets. 2nd interception of the day. Earlier it was Lance Bell, and now Holmes with his 3rd interception of the season.
Well, it's a real shot in the arm for Joe Walton, because he's been catching nothing but heat back there in New York, and I commend him for not making a lot of silly little changes in personnel. I commend him for staying with his group. It looks like they've turned it around. This is an excellent performance they put out throughout the afternoon. They got a great interception by Lance Mel at a critical spot, and this is a tough thing to do, to put him into confusion, because he's been coming back week in and week out. If there's one man I said I'd like to have when things are rough, it's Montana.
And the point after by Leahy is driven through a 42-yard return on the intercept by Holmes. That pass intended for Dwight Clark, and the Jets now lead it 27-13.
Okay, he's trying to force the ball. It's late in the ball game. I don't know if he can throw the ball where no one can get their hands on it. But when you're late, a minute to play, you try to do things you otherwise wouldn't do. Jerry Holmes runs it in with a fine interception. Johnny Lynn leading the way, but this game should be won by the Jets. They've played as well as I've seen a team play for quite a while.
Jerry Holmes in his 4th season out of West Virginia. He is headed to the USFL next year, signed a contract with Pittsburgh of the United States Football League, a club that is owned by a fellow by the name of DiBartolo.
That's true. And we take a look at Jerry Holmes. You know that they're going to miss him. The reason being is the Jets put so much pressure on their corners. They need outstanding corners because the way they play with a 4-man line, they're man-to-man a lot out there on those corners, and they need a top quarterback.
Now, a cynic might say that the scouting report passed on from Mr. DiBartolo of the 49ers, or exchanged with Mr. DiBartolo of the Pittsburgh club of the USFL, did not click.
Yeah, I know. I know what the cynics might say anything, though, Marv. So you just got to file that.
All right, a look at what is upcoming next week here on NBC. We suggest you check your local listings for the games and times in your area. 57 seconds remaining, 4th quarter. And the return by Earl Cooper. While we have an opportunity, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Bob Coffey and Don Gooey, our statisticians, Kurt Cornell, Shelley Woolman, and Chris Bravato. The Jets with a 27-13 lead on the San Francisco 49ers.
And take a look at next week. These guys have a chance to get back in the race. Miami is running off, right? But a lot of teams are forgetting to win after they got off the fast starts. 9-7, 10-6 is a certainty. They play Baltimore and New York next week, and that'll be a big one.
All right, Montana. Joe Montana out to midfield. Barry Bennett, number 78, had a shot at him. And Montana able to scramble free. As you see, 45 seconds remaining. And now look at what is upcoming in prime time here tonight on NBC. First camera followed by Knight Rider. First camera will be joined in progress on the East Coast. All right, here's Montana completing to Craig. Roger Craig. Across midfield, Barry Bennett covering up, and clock running down to a half minute for the New York Jets. A very splendid trip to the West Coast to push the record to 4-5 and remain in the hunt, breaking the 3-game losing streak. Montana with the first down and some more, and then goes down. He saw the face of Greg Buttle.
You know, there's just no give up in the guy. I'm not kidding you. Somehow they ruled that ball dead before he went out of bounds. But he has come back from so many critical situations, even since he was in Notre Dame, that you never give up till it's over. It's over, Joe. It's one of those days it just didn't work. But Joe Walton and his group came to play. They deserve to win.
All right, so the Jets have defeated the San Francisco 49ers 27-13. Marv Albert with John Brodie saying so long. NFL 83 coming up in just a moment.